like Dog Walkers Alley down here. Saturday morning, that's why, so everybody's out at the same time, I think. Morning, how you doing? I ain't got time to get into town at the moment, which is a pity, so the backdrop is just where we live. And I've been wanting to do this one for the last couple of days, so I thought I'd just walk and film, you know. A lot of people out, a lot of holiday makers. The day's starting. Everybody getting ready, going out, doing the holiday stuff. I've got my kids over at the moment. It's brilliant, honestly. It's so nice. Megan's here for 3 months at the moment. And my youngest is here for 10 days. It's fantastic, honestly, it really is. It's bringing a lot of mixed emotions, which is very, very strange. I didn't expect. I'm sounding very hoarse because I've only had 5 hours sleep working last night. So, but the dog still wants out. He doesn't know what I'm working, so he wants out. Megan's having a great time. She's there with her boyfriend. 2 secs. Dog's doing his business. See you in a sec. That's better. Busy. Summer holidays are in full swing. So Meg's over. She's got 3 months here. She's with her boyfriend. She's having a great time. Having a fantastic time. She's only been here nearly a week out of 3 months. And it was funny because I was having a conversation with somebody I met last week. He went home the other day, and the guy was 10 years younger than me, and we were just talking. Long conversation, 45 minutes conversation. And at the end of it, I said, look, the best advice I can give you out of anything from what I've experienced is just live. Just live. And that's based on everything that I've done over the last 20-25 years and how I've now changed it and changed the direction. And I'm living. But it's just live and enjoy yourself. And then I look at Megan, and she's not in an ideal situation. She's got a boyfriend, she's very, very happy. But the rest of it's the paperwork, etc. is not right. Thanks Brexit for that. And I think to myself as a dad, what are you doing? Get a job. How are you going to support yourself? What's going on? Which is very hypocritical, seeing I've told this other bloke of 43 years, so he's 21 years older than Megan, to just live. So it's a bit extremely contradictory. I've just seen a police car miss the roundabout. It's great. One rule for one, one rule for the other. That's exactly the same thing, isn't it, really? One rule for one and a completely different rule for the others. How many 22-year-olds do you know are at university or take a break and just go on a gap year and go travelling? Literally go doing nothing. Have a great time. Get full support from the parents. Because you know there's plenty of time to come later on down the line for them. They've got plenty of time for all the garbage that goes with life. Whereas at the moment, if they just live and have a great time, they build up life experience that later on down the line, they can have a fantastic memories. You're spinning me around. They can have fantastic memories and look back on with great fondness. So I'm trying to take the positive. No, I am taking the positive out of that for Megan, and it's fantastic to see her. I've met up with her maybe 2 or 3 times this week, and she's there with her boyfriend having a great time. So she's living, and she's just living. Still waiting. We're still got an issue with one piece of paperwork. I'm on that hill, man. 5.5 hours sleep, and then you have to take him out and go up a hill. It's like, come on. So still waiting on the one piece of paperwork. Still waiting on the conundrum of how to get round it. But they've kept the application for her open, so we'll see how that goes. But what will be, and we'll roll with it and deal with it. The one I want to talk about really is my youngest, Alice. She's 19. Now, you get transitions in life from childhood into puberty, into adolescence. I think the hardest transition for anybody is that transition from adolescence into adulthood. And that happens at any different ages. For me, sometimes it gets forced upon you, actually. That's what I was going to say. For me, I had to do that when I was 15 because I was forced into it. When my mother and her partner went over to Tenerife, and I went to live with my sister. You have to grow up very quickly then. You never want it on your other kids to do it, but circumstances that I've been through, unfortunately my kids have had to do it at a very young age as well. Megan's come out the other side of it, and she's, you know, as a person, I'm so proud of the person you meet. For those that you met Megan, you'll know, and those you've seen her on a channel, you'll know. Go and check out her channel, actually. I'll put the link in the description below. I'm nearly at the top of this hill. But she's made that transition fantastically. Alice is 19 years of age, and even though she might think that she's there, doesn't matter, she doesn't watch, she's this. One sec, let me get off asleep. Come here, come here. Even though when you're 19 you think you're there, there's still traits of the childhood that's in there, which is precious actually for a dad that doesn't get to see her as much. It is absolutely precious, those moments. So sometimes a little bit, you know, as the stubbornness of a child comes in. But other times it's delightful to see when you're in the pool having a bit of a laugh. But then also on the adult side of it, when she was out last night and I was working, and she's watching me work, and then she gets up dancing when I'm entertaining people, it's fantastic. It's such a nice moment to see. The problem that I've got is that I get a lot of time like this when I walk the dog, and I'm not doing this, and I'm just walking and I'm thinking. Somebody mentioned I maybe have ADHD. They said check yourself out for ADHD. I quite like the position my brain's in, to be honest with you. So even if I just get checked out and get labelled, it doesn't matter. I'm quite happy with the position my brain's in and the way it works, but I do a lot of thinking. When I'm out on the scooter, right? When I'm out on the scooter, I get a lot of time to think as well. And with the youngest turning up, it brought back a lot of memories of past and sometimes not good stuff that comes through, and I need to process that. And nobody tells you about these sort of things. I need to differentiate and learn to I've had to learn to differentiate that the youngest in my head, without it just hit me from a left side, like a left swipe, just hits me as if it's like the past comes with it. And I've got to now just process it in my head and go, nope. It's like decompartmentalize it. Just go, no, that's not part of it. She's not part of it. She doesn't bring the past with her. She is Alice who brings Alice with her. And that's taken me about a week to process. Without her knowing it, and without people knowing it, even Shelley must probably know. I only spoke to Shelley about this last night. But it's things like that that make it, that nobody tells you about, you know? And in that instance, sometimes I wish there was a divorce school for dads. You know, okay, you're getting divorced. This is going to happen. These feelings are going to occur. You're going to feel oh, I can feel the wind again. Rolo, let's go this way, come here. I'll carry this one up I'll carry on this in the next field. I'll just get him picked up and we'll go in the next field. Do you know there's something powerful about a silent upbringing? There really is. I've had to interject this afterwards at the end of the video because I forgot there's so many things I wanted to say. The hardest part for me that I think at the moment is that when I get to see my daughter again, I just explain it. She's not the person you had in your head that you wanted to mould into. Because you want to mould your kids into somebody. Don't get me wrong, she's fantastic. But you've got to, you can't, not criticise is the wrong word as well, because she's doing a great job. But you can't get involved too much now. You've got to take that step back now, because otherwise she comes on a holiday for 10 days and all you're doing over 10 days is bollocking her. You know, it sounds like you're bollocking her, but you're not. You're just trying to direct her. And you only got 10 days. You don't do that for 10 days. So you've got to slightly, quietly coerce, slightly redirect, but in a very passive, non-aggressive way. You've got to be thankful that her friends at college, that her life experiences that she's now got working, because she works for Next now, Dog's dragging me back. You know, and her interaction with other adults is shaping her. And you've got to enjoy what you see, which I really do. Honestly, I really do. She's not fully crossed the line, you know, into adulthood, you know. And you want to help, but you can't help too much because you ain't got the time. But it's somebody who's there. But it's a challenge, you know. It's a different style of parenting that I didn't expect to be doing. But circumstance dictates that. That's what it is. That's what it is. I don't even know if my dad watches this, but Dad, you did a great job doing that. And it must have been the 6 years you must have done that. You know, 6 years of silence. It was about 6 years that I didn't have contact with you. Must have been killing you. Because it kills me in my situation. But there we go. Anyway, back to the vlog. Good, come here. Go on. Can you imagine the divorce school for dads? I've come a long way, by the way, in the last 5 years. I really have, from a place where I was to where I am now. You just sometimes get smacked back with it, sometimes brought back. And it's a bit, when you least expect it, you know? And then you start getting these feelings of sadness, anger. Rolo, come on. And you've just got to process it. Or I do anyway. I've got to process it. I don't think I could have done this without WhatsApp, FaceTime, where you can physically see your kids, because I do speak to Alice face to face, most probably twice a week. So I'm involved, but there's a couple of things that's weird when you then get to meet her again, because I've not seen her for about 6 months. She's very happy, by the way. She's studying acting in Newcastle, which is she's a shrinking violet like me. So she's doing all right on that, and she loves it. She absolutely loves it. And that's what do? You don't try and stop somebody doing something they love and say, no, come over here instead. You let people follow the passion, which I'm really pleased with. But it made me think, really, how much, because I come from divorced parents as well, how much of a nightmare it must have been for my own dad. Because you're doing what's called, I think the only way I can call it's like a silent upbringing. You don't want to, my dad was very gracious, he still is, but he was very, very gracious through the whole thing of my childhood and me growing up, to the bit where it was actually my stepdad who got me into golf, and my stepdad was a good golfer, so we had a lot in common and we did a lot together. And there was a space about 5 or 6 years where I actually didn't even get in contact with my real dad, and my real dad just sat back quietly and just waited, whereas most probably he'd want to jump in, and there was no FaceTime then, but he wanted to be on the phone most probably, telling them what's going on and what the real story is, and which has all come out later on in the wash. But he didn't do that because he didn't want to affect most probably my childhood when I look back on it. So he was very, very gracious in that way. Thanks, Dad. Thank you. And I think that's really the stance I'm trying to take with my kids. Now, when you watch Megan come through the other side and see what she's like, I think it's working well. But then I look at Alice and see that she's still in the middle of it, and still processing stuff. And sometimes a little bit harder, you know. A little bit harder for me. to be the silent one, but you've got to be that one, because otherwise you're just putting a kid in the middle, and nobody wants that for the kids. I've lost him again. He's in there. He's in them bushes there. He's fresh grass. He loves it. Rolo, are you coming? Oh yeah. Rolo. You watch. Rolo. There he is. Hello, mate. Come on. He loves it round here. He explores everything. So that's what's really this week. Something that I didn't expect in the slightest. I genuinely didn't expect thoughts, memories and emotions to hit me the way they've done it. But the one thing that I think I'm right in is learning to detach them away from the feelings that you've got, you know, of the joy of seeing your kids. You can't bring that. I can hear a wind again. I wish I'd have brought the microphones today, but I didn't. I just wanted to come out and film. You can't bring that baggage with your kids. You've got to keep them happy and let them live. So being the silent... I'm just wondering what he's doing. He's down there somewhere now, look at him. Come on, this way. Actively, I think there's two different ways. I think there's actively taking a silent approach because you're doing it for the best for your kids, I think is the right way to do it. Obviously, some people just do a silent approach because they're just thinking about themselves, which is a selfish approach, I suppose. And the two can be confused, most probably, because I bet they would be, or used. They could be used against you, I suppose, as well. And that's the worst thing as well, because you know that there's two sides in a marriage breakdown. And it's very easy to use a silent approach against you when you're actually doing it for the right reason, or you actually think you're doing it for the right reason. And that's the weird one. So, I don't want to be too deep today. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted it to be a little bit more getting back on track of what we do. There's loads of stuff going off in the news, but I want to talk about. But when you're ready for that, I think we'll do that one as well. I'll drop a keyword in: Harpo. Harpo. That's all I'm saying about that one. Maybe in a couple of months' time, I'll come back and reference this, Harpo. If you know what I'm on about, leave it in the comments. Want to do a subscription drive to 3,000 if we can. We're nearly there, people. We're nearly there. Thank you so much for the people, the words, the comments. Thank you for the people that disagree. Thank you for the people that take the time to let me know they disagree. And I genuinely mean that. It means you create conversation. It means it make it interesting for other people to read. It gives me an opportunity to learn, put my point across, but also learn, which is important, because that's part of being humble. There's no point in being a righteous, I'm right and all that. It's not. But actually, for somebody to feel the need to write something down, I think is brilliant. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. It is Saturday. I'm going to try and get this one edited today. If not, it'll be out tomorrow. Have a great one, and we'll see you on the next one. When you know, you know, you know. Harpo. When you know, you know, you know. See you on the next one, guys. All right. Enjoy your day. Ta-ra.